What's going on, guys? Welcome to 2020. Today we're going to run through getting yourself from Medellin airport to the city centre. I've done this probably 15 or 20 times myself. It is very straightforward, although you need to know a few of the options that are available to you simply because Rio Negro is where the airport is at. That is not technically Medellin. You're about an hour outside, probably half an hour now with the new tunnel. So, we're going to run through a few different options for you. Before we get outside, you're going to need to queue up here with the rest of these people. You're going to need to go through immigration. They're going to ask you a few basic things, your address, what your plans are in Colombia. Very rarely they'll decline giving you a 3-month visa here. Now, once you do get outside, you're going to have 4 options that can take you to the city centre. Your first option, and probably the most common for travelers who are coming to Medellin for the first time, is to take a taxi. Now, a taxi is not the most economical way to get to the city centre. In fact, it's probably the most expensive. In fact, it is the most expensive way to get into El Centro. But for peace of mind, it's probably one of your best options. With the taxis here, you can get up to 4 people inside. They're not going to charge any more, and there's a set fee from the airport. So these are regulated taxis. They will all charge 85,000 to get you to Medellin. Maybe slightly more if you're going to the south of the city, to Envigado, to Sabaneta, or if you're going far north to Bello. But for most of you guys, you're probably staying around Poblado, Laureles, those kind of areas, and that'll be covered by the 85,000. Okay, so when you get outside the airport doors, which you'll see here along your right hand side, when you get outside, the taxis will be parked on the left. They're white taxis at the airport, so that's what you want to take. Now, the other option that you have, and it's not an option I'd really recommend, but it's one that people are always asking, is Uber. Now, Uber is illegal in Colombia, and for that reason, it can be very difficult to get an Uber at the airport. A few reasons for that. Firstly, they don't want to drive all the way out to you just in case you cancel or in case the transit police stop them. Now, this is very common. They'll stop people either coming into the airport or coming out driving their Ubers. That can be a situation you really don't want if you're going to be sitting in a car with one of these guys when they get pulled over. Next option that I'm going to recommend, number 3 on the list, is to take a shared taxi, or as they're known as here, a colectivo. Now, colectivo is where yourself and 3 others share a taxi to or from the airport. They're also pretty well regulated. You don't know who you're going to be getting in a taxi with, and it can be pretty cramped. If you have a lot of luggage, you might be a little better off getting the airport bus, which you won't be surprised, judging by this video, is my preferred option. Now, the airport bus is the cheapest of all the options, and it is now 10,500 pesos, slightly up from last year. That works out at less than $3. You're looking at about $2.50 or €2.50, around about that. Now, I don't know if I mentioned the Colectivo is 15,000, so it's also very reasonable. But for what it's worth, I would say a bus is your best option. Okay, so as I mentioned, the bus will drop you at San Diego or Notibara. Notibara is in the center of the city, but for getting around to the likes of Poblado, Laureles, or any of the west side of the city, San Diego is probably your best option. Okay, now it is the downside of the bus or the Colectivo is you are getting dropped here on the outskirts of the city where you're going to need to take another taxi. Okay, so you're going to see as I get off the bus here, there's quite a few people offering taxis. These guys are independent. They don't work for the bus company. They don't work for the taxis. They simply offer to bring your luggage from the bus to the taxi. Now, as you can see here, the taxi is about 10 meters away. So unless you're very lazy, I don't think you're going to be needing that. Okay, so what you want to do when you get into these taxis there, it's not like a taxi in the States or Europe where they know where they're going as such. They'll know the general area. So what you want to do is hop in, say hello, tell them where you want to go, but also have an idea yourself of where you're going. Maybe get Google Maps out.
¿Quieres a Envigado?
¿Por la Vega o por la autopista?
Las Vegas, está bien.
I say, okay, so this guy's going to bring me down to Envigado, where I'm living at the moment. Now, if you are a little bit more conscious of your expenditure coming into Medellin, you can also grab a metro from here. It's about 3 or 4 blocks away. I'm not sure if it's your first time in the city. As you can see, it's a little bit dark, it's a little bit complicated, the roads are a little bit deserted. It's not the most dangerous area by any means, but as with any city, you should take precautions when you're new, especially if you're lugging a load of luggage around. It's probably not the best thing to do to save a few euro. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the prices do go up in Colombia. They go up every year. So the buses, the taxis, they're all a little bit more expensive. I'm going to ask the taxi man here to explain it a little bit, but if you are enjoying the video, please hit a like button, hit subscribe, and we'll talk again at the next one.
¿Por qué siempre cambian los precios en enero? Todas las cosas, por ejemplo el bus y todo.
Ah,
¿Para qué es? ¿Cada año así o qué?
como cada año fijan el nuevo salario mínimo.
Ajá.
Entonces eso suben el salario mínimo y empieza a subir todo.
Ah, ok. Entonces aumentan el salario mínimo, pero todo cuesta más, entonces.
Sí, sube mucho más de lo que sube
Sí.
el salario mínimo.
Ah.
O sea que siempre el salario mínimo va a estar por debajo.
Ujú.